Hi students, today I am going to teach one of the most important writers of black literature, African literature, that is Chinua Achebe. Chinua Achebe, who was born 16th November 1930 and died 21st of March 2013. And yes, he died in Boston, which is in United States. As far as Chinua Achebe is concerned, he was born in Ogidi. And where is Ogidi, students? It is in eastern Nigeria. It is in eastern Nigeria. So he was born in a place known as Ogidi in eastern Nigeria on 16th November 1930 to parents known as Izia Achebe and Janet Achebe. Izia की spelling होगी ISAIAH and Janet. Izia Achebe and Janet Achebe. His parents, though they tried to instill in him many of the traditional values of Igbo culture. His parents tried to pamper him, to instill him with the values of their traditional cultural Igbo, because they were devout evangelical Protestants. Devout evangelical Protestants. So this information is important for the parents also, that what they tried to do and why they did, because they were very strong evangelical Protestants. So यहाँ से हम समझेंगे कि क्यों जो उसका बचपना है, his childhood therefore was marked with or marked by the rich ambivalence of a very complex inheritance. But which was complex. He also attended mission schools, but remained emotionally close to many of his relatives who were not Christians. So ये जो शुरुआत की के जो नेगोशिएशंस थे, किन चीज के नेगोशिएशंस? कल्चरल डुअलिटी, दो प्रकार की. So these early negotiations of cultural duality would later enable him to develop a necessary distance from the competing and the conflicting forces that had shaped his sense of self and formed his worldview, through which he is now able to see the totality of life. Now, what happened in 1944 means approximately 14 years. Chinua Achebe enrolled at the prestigious government college in Umuahia. He got enrolled here. 4 साल बाद he entered the London affiliated University College at Ibadan. And this college at Ibadan was affiliated London college from London. And why he entered here? To study medicine. But very few might be knowing that he abandoned medicine in favor of, ये इसने abandon कर दिया, and what he liked in favor of reading, learning, literature, philosophy and history. Got my point? He abandoned medicine in favor of literature, philosophy and history. He also became quite involved in a variety of political and cultural activities on campus. He also edited, जहाँ पे था ये एबिडेन में, वहाँ पे इसने एडिट किया. He also edited Ibadan's University Herald. Ibadan's University Herald, इस मैगजीन को इसने एडिट किया, to which he also contributed essays and even short fiction, and even wrote occasional commentaries for student publications such as Bug and Eagle. Very important. Bug and Eagle. ये पूछा भी गया है. Apart from all these things, he also wrote occasional commentaries for student publications, and उसका नाम था Bug and Eagle. Now, यहाँ तक आपको बहुत अच्छे से क्लियर से समझ में आ गया होगा about Chinya Achebe's profile. After his graduation in 1953, Achebe joined the Nigerian Broadcasting Corporation, Nigerian Broadcasting Corporation, Nigerian Broadcasting Corporation. After graduation, पहले तो उसने सर्व किया एज टॉक्स प्रोड्यूसर, TALKS producer. First he served as talk producer, then he became, controller, and then got assumed the directorship of the corporation's external broadcasting. उसका क्या बन गया? Directorship of the corporation's external broadcasting. Now, we will talk about his first novel, 1958. Remember this date. He published his first novel, and yes, you must have known, or Things Fall Apart. And just for the sake of knowledge, who published it? The publication was by a very popular educational publishing company known as Henneman Educational Books. Henneman की स्पेलिंग है HEI, ऐसे लिखिएगा HEINE. Hine, then MANN, Educational Books. Published it. They actually published it very reluctantly. Reluctantly का मतलब होता है बहुत ज़्यादा वो खुश नहीं थे कि पता नहीं सक्सेस होगी नहीं होगी. Because the editors were unsure if the Western readers would buy a novel by an African and printed only कि कोई अफ्रीकन नॉवल के लिखे वाले से कोई ब्लैक से कोई खरीदेगा भी, तो बड़ा डरते डरते उन्होंने 2000 कॉपीज को केवल पब्लिश किया. बट टू द ग्रेट सरप्राइज दिस नॉवल became a stunning success. And you won't believe, since its first publication, it has been translated into almost 50 languages and has sold millions of copies internationally. Though it was not the first novel published in English by an African author, its spectacular worldwide success ने इनॉग्रेट कर दिया एक नया कैनवस, एक नया एरा, एक नया होराइजन in the African literary history, and that is what it helped secure a firm foundation for the emerging African tradition. इसके बाद तो लाइन लग गई अफ्रीकन वर्ल्ड में, एंड इवन चिनुआ अचेबे published 4 other novels, 2 collection of essays, 4 other novels, 2 collection of essays, 1 book of short fiction, a book of short fiction, a volume of poetry, and last but not least, miscellaneous pieces also. And Things Fall Apart remains till now his most widely read work. एक अगर हम बात करें one of Africa's most outspoken intellectuals, Chinua Achebe, has been and continues to be a public figure till his death, deeply involving in the political life of his nation. And if we talk about the Nigerian Civil War, which happened in 1967-1970, 3 years. So during the Nigerian Civil War, precipitated in part by Biafra's attempt to succeed from the Nigerian Federation, Chinua Achebe, who was a staunch supporter of Biafran independence, became the province's most committed and eloquent spokesperson. And I'll tell you one thing more important here. In 1983, upon the death of Malan Aminu Kano, 1983, upon the death of Malan Aminu Kano, O hai, this is O, Kano, Achebe was elected the Deputy National President of the People's Redemption Party, and he remains a keen observer of Nigeria's turbulent politics and continues to be a fearless critic of the military dictators whose coups and counter coups have profoundly destabilized his nation's democratic foundations. Now, Achebe has also played a very integral and pivotal personal role in the emergence of the post-colonial Anglophone literature in Nigeria and elsewhere in Africa. As the director of Henneman Educational Books in Nigeria, he has encouraged and published the work of dozens of African writers. I'll just tell about one, Okike, 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 and African Journal of New Writing, and African Journal of New Writing, which he founded in 1971, has provided a forum for generation of young African artists. Then UWA ND, UWA NDI ऐसे लिखते हैं, UWA NDI, then Igbo. आगे लिखिए, A Journal of Igbo Life and Culture, A Journal of Igbo Life and Culture. It is a bilingual periodical that he established in 1984, is an invaluable source for students of Igbo civilization. Now, stepwise, I will explain you so that you may not forget anything. Achebe is a superb storyteller. Not only a superb storyteller, but also a gifted poet, a great literary critic, and even a brilliant cultural commentator. His phenomenal career as a professional writer spans 5 decades, 50 saal. And among the numerous awards and honors he has received, I would like to tell some of them, because as a student of literature, basically African literature or Chinua Achebe, one cannot miss the honors which he has received. Number 1, Jock Campbell Award for Literature. इसमें लिखे Jock Campbell, JOCK, Campbell Award for Literature. The Commonwealth Poetry Prize. The Nigerian National Merit Award. And apart from this, dozen honorary doctorates. Not only one, dozen honorary doctorates. He has also held professorships at numerous African as well as North American universities. Chinua Achebe and his wife, Dr. Christy Okoli Achebe, until recently lived in Nsukka. Nsukka की spelling है N-S-U-K-K-A. They lived in Nsukka, where he was associated with the Institute for African Studies at the University of Nigeria. And after that, he was in Bard College in New York. They have 4 children. एक का नाम है Chinelo, एक का नाम है Ikichukuwu, then Chidi and Luando. 4 children. And if we want to appreciate fully the achievement of Chinua Achebe, one has to understand his artistic credo, what he has articulated in his works, in his greatest works, and Chinua Achebe's views himself first and foremost as a teacher who reflects as well as shapes the communal visions and values of the people. He summarily rejects the modern Western notion of an artist as an alienated individual who projects a private vision forged in isolation and alienation. अगर हम अचीबे की बात करें, to Achebe, the artist is an integral part of his or her community where he or she creates, therefore must have a functional value and relevance to those individuals who are making the community. To Chinua Achebe, art and political concerns, be they local, be they global, are not mutually exclusive. He insists that the artist has an obligation to remain committed to the well-being of his or her people. So the great thing which he had committed in the society, Chinua Achebe, as far as if we talk about his major works and themes, then as a post-colonial writer who runs into the intellectual conflict with the European-generated imperialist historical discourses, if we talk about the history and the struggle to come to terms with it, which is an obsessive theme in all the post-colonial literatures. And our coming to terms with our problematic historical inheritance, after all, is essential for racial self-retrieval, for forging an authentic and liberating sense of personal and cultural wholeness. And if I talk about Chinua Achebe's Things Fall Apart, which is one of the most celebrated imaginative attempts to subvert official history by constructing an oppositional version of it. And yes, a landmark piece of post-colonial fiction, Things Fall Apart, is set in the Igbo village of Umuofia, Umuofia, and that is in eastern Nigeria. And the action takes place during the closing decades of the 19th century. The narrative, divided into three parts, focuses on the rise and fall of its strong-willed protagonist, Okonkwo. What is the name of the protagonist? Okonkwo. I'm writing down the spelling of him. O-K-O-N O-K-O-N K-W-O. The narrative, divided into three parts, focuses on the rise and fall of its strong-willed protagonist, Okonkwo. And while mapping the course of his life, Achebe manages to provide a memorable recreation of Igbo life before, during, and immediately after the British colonial intrusion. फाइन. सो पार्ट 1 की अगर हम बात करें, so part 1 tracks the social ascendancy of Okonwo in the very tribal setting. Haunted by the memory of his father, whom he regards as a failure, Okonwo, through his hard work and determination, emerges as a key figure in the village's power structure. But his ruthlessness renders his hard-won status rather precarious. When he accidentally murders a son of Ezedu, a priest, when he accidentally murders a son of Ezedu, a priest, he is banished to the near Igbo village of Mabtana, Mbtana. He is banished to this village for 7 years. And in this section of the narrative, Achebe also reconstructs the pre-colonial Igbo society. It is a stable, it is functional, it is a cohesive community that promotes the work and rewards personal achievement. It has an elaborate judicial system and a flexible mode of government. Its elaborate rituals and even ceremonies help reinforcing the people's shared ontological sense. Chinua Achebe, however, avoids romanticizing the Igbo past, and he refers to many culturally sanctioned cruelties, ritualized sexism, abandonment of twins, routine sacrificial murders. But he also makes it very obvious through reform-minded characters such as Obrika. Obrika is a character, Obrika, that pre-colonial Igbo culture was a dynamic one with the capacity of internally generated progressive change. This was actually part 1. If I talk about part 2 of the novel, which documents Okonwo's difficult exile, his incremental awareness of the perils of excessive individualism, and his growing appreciation of kingship and community. And this second section also reveals ominous signs of the encroaching colonialism and indications of Okonwo's resistance to it, कि वो नहीं चाहता था कि वो colonialism जो है वो encroach करे. Now the third part में क्या है? Third part जो है वो chronicle करती है Okonwo's return to Umuofia, where he hopes to reintegrate himself into that village life. But Umuofia during his absence has changed drastically in the last 7 years. Things have begun to fall apart. Colonial administrative structures, now securely in place, have radically altered the traditional life. Things have become aggressive by the British missionaries. And these British missionaries have injected new values that have undermined the tribal cohesion. Okonwo's own son, Nwoye, Nwoye, Okonwo का खुद का जो बेटा Nwoye है, he adopts the Christian faith and rejects his father. And Okonwo's violent resistance to change lands him in jail. His kinsmen, afraid of the colonial administrators, offer him little support, and unwilling to come to terms with the new realities, Okonwo commits suicide. कि जो नई रियलिटी थी उससे वो रूबरू नहीं हो पा रहा था और अल्टीमेटली उसने सुसाइड कमिट कर लिया. And so the novel ends with a marvelously ironic paragraph. And the narrative point of view, which until now has sympathetically presented the complex world of Okonwo, now abruptly shifts to the arrogant and the shallow imperialist perspective of the district commissioner. And his limited vision reduces Africa to stale colonist stereotypes, the very stereotypes the novel had early successfully disrupted. So, I think this is a modern classic. Things Fall Apart, a modern classic, which is Achebe's calculated response to the imperialist versions of the colonial encounter. Actually a great work. So today we are going to end this session here and we'll take the next session too.